Last episode, we shipped the agent into the dark and the latency chart had one ugly bar, a ticket that took 70 seconds. 70 seconds doing what I genuinely could not tell you. In production, it was slow with no next sentence is where debugging goes to die. So this episode we turned the lights on and the trace of that exact ticket tells me something I had completely backwards. Welcome back. Observability is one question. After a run finishes, can you reconstruct what happened? Not was it green, but where did the time and the money go? And what did it touch? Here is the part nobody tells you. You probably already have the data. Since episode 4, every run has written a structured record. Start time, duration, every tool call with a timestamp, tokens, cost, and a few flags. We have been sitting on the traces. We just never drew the picture. So we build the picture, read one real slow run and set up the handful of signals actually worth waking up for. First principle, a trace is not complicated, it is spans on a clock. A span is one unit of work with a start and an end, a tool call, a model turn, a sub-agent's whole life. Lay them on a shared timeline and you get a waterfall. Long bars are where the time went. Bars inside bars are one thing calling another. The key relationship is parent and child. When the main agent delegates, the sub-agent's work nests underneath the delegate span. You can see at a glance that the messy log digging happened over there inside the investigator and how long it took. That is the whole idea. Now point it at a real run. Second principle, logs and alerts are not the same thing. And confusing them is why on-call is miserable. Structured logs first. One record per run as data, not a stream of print statements. Because it is structured, you can ask questions later. Show me every run over $1, every run that escalated, every error yesterday. Alerts are different. You do not page a human on a run happened. You page on a signal. And an agent has 3 what waking up for. The budget ceiling tripped, the agent escalated to a human, or a run failed unrecoverably. That is the list. Everything else is a trace you pull on demand when one of those 3 fires, alert on the exceptions, trace on the questions. Here is the record we already write. The line that matters is the tool calls. Each one carries the moment it happened. That single timestamp is what turns a flat list into a waterfall. And the view is almost nothing. Subtract the start time from each event to get its offset, and you have a timeline. No new library, no vendor. The data was always there. Let me point it at the 70-second ticket. This is the real trace of that ticket. Watch it fill in. The main agent reads memory at 4 seconds. At 10 seconds, it delegates to the investigator. Inside that, 3 account lookups done by 19 seconds. So far, so fast. Then look at the gap from 19 seconds to 70. Nothing calls a tool. 51 seconds of just the model generating, the investigator writing its findings, the main agent composing the reply. Here is what I had backwards. I assumed a slow ticket meant too many tool calls. The trace says the opposite. The tools took 19 seconds. The model's thinking took 51. If I had tried to speed this up by trimming tool calls, I would have optimized the wrong half. You cannot reason your way to that, you have to see it. 2 more things you get for free once runs are structured records. First, replay. Because every run is saved as data, you can rerun the grader over it or pull it up months later and see exactly what the agent saw. That is not a new feature. It is what our evil harness has done the whole course. Observability and evils are the same records. Read 2 ways. Second, the signals across the whole suite. Unrecoverable errors, 0. Budget ceiling trips, 0. Escalations, about 4 in 10. Which is the agent correctly handing hard tickets to a human, not a failure. None of those 3 fired an alarm this run. When one does, the trace is already saved and waiting. That is the difference between it was slow and here is the span that was slow. One is a shrug, the other is a fix. Recap. A trace is just spans on a clock, and the SDK hands you the timestamps to build one. Log structured records, not print statements so you can ask questions later. An alert on only 3 signals: budget tripped, escalation, unrecoverable error. Everything else is a trace you pull when one of those fires. The 70-second ticket taught the real lesson. Your intuition about where the time goes is probably wrong, and a trace settles it in one glance. Mine said tools, the truth was the model. Replay comes free because a structured run is the same thing your evals raid. Next episode, we finally use all of this in anger. A real thing broke in this build, and I take you through it the way you would on call: alert, trace, root cause, fix, and a regression test so it never comes back. See you there.